Alright, you guys hear
I
me?
can.
Hopefully. Hang on. Tabletop is using 30% of my CPU right now. Task manager not responding.
You know it's bad when you try to open Task Manager to close a program, and Task Manager needs to be closed then. Well, oh yeah, you haven't been in this campaign since Indiana Hones died, so you didn't even know anything about this world yet. So, welcome to this kingdom that you know nothing about. I'm gonna say that you ended up on this island, and there's been a war between the Kingdom of Ibel and the Empire of Gath for a long time. This is a map that was drawn from like the humans' perspective, so they know this side of the island pretty well. But this mountain range kind of separates their half of the island from the other half of the island. They really don't know this side of the island that well, so this is all just like guesswork. Their map making skills and like cartography skills aren't that good, so this is possibly very inaccurate. But they don't know anything about this side of the island. This side is slightly more accurate. Anyway, so there's been a war between the Empire on the left and the Kingdom on the right for a long time. The Kingdom is filled with humans on the right, and the Orcs are on the left. So there's like an Empire of Orcs and the Kingdom of Humans. A while ago, the Orcs pushed over this mountain range and like took more than their half, conquered this area, pushed the humans back beyond the mountain range, and the humans managed to fall back and form a defensive line along this giant natural trench. And they like built a wall and stuff, and then there they managed to hold the Orcs for like 100 years or something, so just holding that for a really long time. And that's like where the defensive line was for a long time until like last week. That's when the Orcs like made a big assault and like managed to push past the wall. Big fight happened. The Orcs managed to capture a bunch of people and push the humans' defensive line ended up like back here, and they were like barely holding on. Until recently, when the party kind of came by and like wreaked some havoc, and there was like a battle, and the Orcs kind of rushed back this way. Hawk's character, Edgy Edgelord, talked to the general of the humans and was like, "Hey, can I go kill some Orcs?" And he was like, "We don't have the numbers for that. The Orcs are like too numerous. We can't go attack them." And Edgy Edgelord was like, "Watch me," and he decided to go up here and just like take them on his own. I would say that your character was a part of this initial defense, and he was captured by the Orcs. The other people who were captured by the Orcs were humans, and they unfortunately just got executed. You, however, are an elf, so the Orcs don't necessarily hate elves quite as much as they hate humans, because obviously there's a deep-seated resentment for humans, but you're luckily not quite a human, so they're like, okay, well, we don't like you still, so we're going to keep you captured, but we won't exactly execute you yet. So you're just kind of being held in a prison that's been rashly constructed over here. Like all these little green scribbles here are like different tents made of hide and cobbled together out of like some loose rocks and planks and stuff. So just whatever materials they had around, because like this is very recently constructed camp, because the Orcs just took over this area. And there are some wooden stakes sharpened to be like defenses lining the area around here. This right here is a stone wall formed out of like more planks and stones and debris. So the Orcs have constructed this wall as a defense against the humans, which are down south, and they've set up this little camp area where they were working on stuff. So what you have heard lately is you've been in your like little cell. Your arms and legs are both tied, and you're just kind of like gagged and lying in the dirt in a little encampment. Your hands and feet are kind of like tied to a wooden post, so you can't really like move around or do very much. But you suddenly begin to hear a blast of fire and explosions or something, and you heard Orcs begin to yell and scream and run around outside, like the ground rumbling as you're like laying there with your head on the ground, and just like Orc footsteps thundering by and people grabbing their weapons and just cries of confusion. Then you hear them begin to yell at each other, weapons clashing, and quickly it grows into just a cacophony of like Orcs yelling at each other and weapons clashing, and there's just chaos happening outside. An axe suddenly flies through the top of your tent and like chops the hide in half basically, and kind of collapses the tent down and opens it up. So daylight is looking in on you, but the tent also kind of collapses a little bit, so you're in like a half collapsed tent, and you can see the lights of fire outside, and they're just Orcs fighting each other. And that's about where you are. I'm not sure when Hawk is going to join us. It would be great if he could come free you and find you or something, or you can try to wrestle free. What you gonna do?
Oh, there's no captivity that Kyron can't get out of. So I pull my hands up to my mouth, and I'm like trying to gnaw on
You can't really pull your hands up, but you can move your head down to where your hands are, because they're like attached to a stake.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to start gnawing at it?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm gonna
Okay.
gnaw on it.
Oh, Hawk is screaming in the chat. He says, orcs are pretty chill. His name is Edgy Edward. If you try to escape my army's captivity, you will die. Oh. Well, you don't know what's going on yet. I don't know what's going on yet. Hawk doesn't know what's going on yet. There's just chaos happening. Hawk was over here, like, letting his minions do their work, trying to convert the army to his control. It was going somewhat well until orcs started not disagreeing with each other and having a lot of chaos. Then, out of nowhere, this orc just kind of came by and shouted to the ones that could hear him, "The human's weapon is working! It killed our squads! It killed all of our squad's men!" And he natural 20'd his deception roll, and they all crit failed. Not even kidding. So double layers of, like, they are completely convinced that the humans are doing something. So everyone is up in arms, fighting each other over control of whether they follow Commander Steve or not. I'll just catch you up. So basically, Hawk walked over here. These were the three commander people of the orc army. Hawk just kind of walked in there, recruited a random baker, and was like, "Hey, random baker," his name was Steve. "Hey, Steve, how would you like to be in charge of the orc army?" And then he just turns around and, like, uses he used Burning Hands and, like, instantly incinerated these three guys. And he has some spells to, like, convince people to do what he wants. So he just kind of, like, made Steve into his puppet commander and made him be like, "Yo, I'm the new commander." And then some orcs agreed with him and some didn't. And then, like, things got progressively more and more out of hand. And lots of bad things happened. So now there's kind of a struggle of power, and orcs are fighting each other left and right. And this guy's, like, convincing them that the humans are attacking with some sort of powerful weapon that just killed, like, 15 orcs over here. So there's just 7 layers of chaos that's happening, and you're just kind of caught in the middle of it. You're next to a burning tent, you're trapped, and that's the situation.
Okay.
But your character doesn't know that. Your character just knows that there's, like, crazy sounds happening, and you're like, this is my opportunity to escape.
Yeah, so the gnawing, like, what am I supposed to do with that? How do I...
Roll me a strength check to try to gnaw your way out of these ropes.
That's a 17.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say you managed to gnaw your way through the rope mostly, but roll me a d4. I'm gonna say you take 1 damage just because, like, it's rough rope and gnawing at it kind of hurts your teeth.
Do I free
you do
myself,
manage to
or do
free
I
your
just
hands.
kind of,
Your
like...
hands get free. Your feet are still tied up.
So
actually,
I reached down.
I forgot you had a gag. I did say that you had a gag on. But we can retcon that and say you managed to gnaw through that first, I guess, but that would have taken some time. So let's just say that you, like, scooted your face over to that axe that flew in the tent, and yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. I would have cut my hands first, presumably.
Well, I mean, sure, okay, whatever. So you got your hands and your mouth free.
Yeah, so I untie my legs,
Okey-doke.
I guess.
You can do that pretty easily.
Yeah, I wanna, like, not really, like, step out of the tent, but just kind of, like, peer out of it, I guess, and just...
Alright, just, like, on your hands and knees and stuff?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're, like, on your hands and knees and you kind of peer out the tent. I'm not going to make you roll perception because, like, there's just chaos and you're going to get the same description one way or the other. So as you're looking at the tent, you see that to your left there's a tent that's still, like, collapsing in flames, just, like, fire everywhere, even though there are some orcs still, like, weakly trying to put out the fire, but, like, they're more concerned with, like, the orcs that are attacking each other left and right. Some of these orcs are attacking some of these orcs over here. They're all kind of, like, trying to figure out what they're doing. There's just utter confusion among the ranks of the orcs, and nobody is paying any attention to you. So yeah, these guys are fighting each other, these other guys are fighting these other guys, and nobody knows what's happening. It's just a mess. These guys over here are, like, trying to get everyone to stop fighting so that they can prepare for an invasion of humans, and these guys over here are trying to convince everyone to stop freaking out.
Okay, I think I want to just kind of sneak out of there. I don't want to be in the middle.
Roll me stealth. Where do you want to go exactly? Hawk says, all the purple and pink ones are converted to my side. No, they're not. The pink ones are on your side. The purple ones are maybe. These purple ones are definitely not. These purple ones are.
Do I know
You might know them because apparently Hawk's character has been in the General's army, and you got captured, but you were also in the same group. So yeah, it's conceivable that you would know each other. So yeah, let's just say you can know each other.
What's my goal? I guess my objective. I want to get back.
Regroup with your people, or like kill orcs or something. I don't know. You're on the human side, and you see that there's just chaos everywhere. So this could be your opportunity to get some cheap kills, or you can do whatever you want to. Like It's up to you, man.
All right, here's what I want to do. All right, so I see these other tents around me.
Yes.
Right. Not just the big
well,
one.
there's the kind of collapsed one that you're currently in. There's the fire-ridden one over here. There's like a blacksmith one over here somewhere, and there's like other ones around, but you can't really see them as you're facing out this direction.
I think I'm gonna start sneak over to another one.
Alright, just like this one over here. Alright, roll me stealth.
That is a 19.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to slip through the raging war of orcs versus orcs. And you sneak over to this tent, and as you peek inside, you see that there's another orc just kind of cowering in fear in the corner, oh no, I've been found. And there's shelves of food storage in this place. There's chains of sausages, I guess, and some bread and stuff.
I hold a gloved hand up to him.
A gloved hand?
Kind of. Yes.
Okay, what does that mean? Okay.
I will explain this later.
Chloroform.
And it's a blue glove, by the way. I don't have one in the other hand, if that makes more sense.
Okay. Hawk says, I'll be right back.
Okay,
Please don't kill the armory.
I'm holding it up to him kind of aggressively, and I say,
You want to know how I got this glove?
Look, there's a lot of chaos out there, so spill the beans. What is going on?
Roll me persuasion.
That's a
okay.
17.
What hand motion are you making? Are you holding your hand up with the back of your hands?
I'm not holding it out as in I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm holding it out as in I will hurt you.
So
with this
making
hand.
a fist and being "Argh!" or
I am holding it out as if I can shoot something from my
Oh, okay, so you're preparing a spell or something, or looking like you're leveling a spell at him. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So he kind of goes, I don't know, some orcs came in and lit the tent of the commander on fire, saying that we now serve Master Steve or something, and then everyone started fighting. I don't know, I'm just trying to hide. And you can see that he's got a half-eaten roll in his hands, and he's like, what? I eat when I'm nervous.
I'm just I see. That's not really profitable for me. Do you have anything of value on you?
He kind of holds out the roll to you. There's bite marks in it already, though.
Well,
please don't hurt me. Are you the one causing all this?
Of course not. I don't play with fire. I'm more of the, chill kind. So, why are you in here in this tent instead of getting yourself involved out there?
I just am supposed to watch the supplies. I don't really fight that much.
So you decided to be out of it?
Well, yeah, no sense in a supply worker getting hurt if I don't have to. I'm sure they'll figure out what they're doing, I think.
Well, if you're out, you're out. And I shoot him with a ray of frost.
If you're out, you're out. Okay. What do you have to roll for that? Or what does he have to roll for that? I don't know that spell.
Frigid beam of blue-white light streaks towards a creature in range, which is 60 feet. On a hit, it takes 1d8 cold damage. And I rolled so good.
So yeah, that definitely hits with a 24.
The 24.
So you hold out your hand and a ray of blinding white and blue light just kind of courses from your hand and blasts towards this orc and hits him directly in the face, and his head basically gets encoded in a block of well, not a block of ice, but just kind of it becomes coated in a layer of frost and ice crystals, and you can still see the shocked expression on his face as he kind of stumbles backward and falls on his back. He is still kind of moving his arms a little bit, but he's sluggish and bewildered as he falls on his back, and he's just in utter confusion as to what has just occurred to him. Hawk says, "I'd like to find Steve when I can. Killing my orcs, so rude. That's my job."
All right, I walk out, and
Hawk has found Commander Steve.
I kind of figured at this point that like there's nothing of value in this camp, to me, at least. And I'm just gonna head out. I'm just gonna try and sneak out.
That was pretty cool. I'm sorry. So, roll me stealth again. Where are you trying to go now, or are you just going out?
I mean, just like the stealthiest way that I can. I mean, I'm just gonna watch where people are fighting or moving, and just kind of like move as they're not looking at me.
Okay.
And I it's up to you how many.
Okay. Are you trying to like go this way and like get back to the other side where you think?
Sure, like whatever way looks.
Okay, I mean this way looks basically the most open. If you're just looking to get away from the battle, if you're trying to go to a specific point based on like landmarks, like you can.
Yeah, I want to go to.
Like you can see that the
home
okay,
base,
so you can see that the really tall mountain at the center of the island is like over far this way somewhere. So like you would be able to see that landmark, and you'd know. Oh, okay. So if the mountain range is here and the big mountain's there and I'm in an orc camp, I should probably go this way. So like, alright, so you'll want to go like this way probably. Alright, so roll me just one stealth check.
Okay. That is I think that's a 4 or 20.
A 4 or a 20?
Yeah,
okay, cool. Yeah, you managed to stealth past these orcs who are still like bickering amongst each other and like trying to stop each other from fighting and being like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, stop. I don't understand. Just like bumbling around like idiots, and you sneak past without anyone really questioning you or even really noticing that you're there. They're just like too absorbed with not getting their own heads chopped off. So you like make it back to this wall, and you can decide what to do from there. Meanwhile, Hawk has found Commander Steve, and Commander Steve is like trying to calm down and rally his forces because he heard this other random dude shout that the humans were killing them with a weapon and stuff. Hawk says, Steve, gather all the men. It's time we avenge the captain and wipe them out. Okay. So yeah, this is what Commander Steve was already trying to do. So yeah, Commander Steve is like trying to calm these people down, and they're starting to listen now that this guy has like nat 20'd them, and they crit failed into believing that the humans are like building some sort of super weapon that can take them out easily, and they're like preparing to attack the humans.
Do I have all my equipment with me?
Ooh, that's a good point. Okay, so you were captured. Yeah, I would say that they probably took all of that from you when they captured you. However, if we want to retcon, we could say that when you were up here, you didn't see your stuff in this tent, but maybe you explored around a little bit, sneaking around. Maybe after you attacked this dude, you were looking for your stuff, and in this tent.
Yeah, I mean, I basically was just looking for anything.
Okay, yeah, this tent over here was the store for like a bunch of weapons and armor and stuff. So let's just say that you found, if not your own stuff, you just restocked on some more generic stuff, like crossbows or whatever that you needed. So yeah, there we go, back to status quo.
You see me reach down into my bag and like I'm like rustling around in it. I'm like, here it is, and I pull it out, and it's a vote for me pin.
What the heck?
And I just kiss it, put it back in the back.
Yes, we can. Okay. So that's your contribution.
Yep.
I guess Hawk's just trying to encourage Commander Steve, the dumb baker, to
Oh, do I notice him?
Roll me perception. You would definitely notice that the group of orcs over here is kind of like more organized and like trying to focus in on the leader dudes over here. Hawk says, I'd like to start leading Steve and all my army towards the battlefield. Okay. So Hawk kind of gently convinces Mr. Steve to like start walking this way, and just like is like leading the battle, and Steve just kind of raises his axe and like begins walking this way. Grognak also begins helping to corral, and Gerald begin to help corral these guys who are already on board. And the guys who were like fighting over here are kind of like looking and being like, oh well, I guess we're going this way. Not sure what's going on, I don't know. And the trader's just kind of still screaming, like, ah, the humans, ah! And everyone's kind of like getting on. I don't know why this guy's named Bobby. I forget what he was doing, but I think Hawk named that guy Bobby for some reason. As people begin like falling away and like going this direction behind them, the guys who were like turning and fighting each other kind of like turn and go, oh wait, everyone's moving out, where are we going, what are we doing? And they like kind of put aside their differences and begin like going to battle with the encouragement of this dude who is like has PTSD at this point. So yeah, that's the situation. Hawk is leading this army of orcs who are all following Commander Steve, and I'm scared about what he's doing with them. And you definitely would see him now if he's like leading the pack. I should never have given Hawk an army.
Okay, so I noticed him, and I'm like, what is this name?
Edgy Edward. Hawk says, I'd like to get to the center of the battlefield, then call for a short rest for planning and tactics, then take a long rest, assuming nothing happens before then. So you want to lead them to the center of the battlefield and just kind of go, alright, that's far enough. We've walked almost a quarter of a mile. Now let's all just sit down and take a rest. That's your plan, Hawk? So you're leading them out of their protected camp so that they can plan what they're going to do. Where I nap for a moment. Oh my gosh. He's trying to reset all his spell slots so that he can wreck face again. I'm scared.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And so he's just kind of leading them this way. What are you going to do, Stu? Would you like to like go and intercept him, or like?
Is there a way that I can like blend in with the crowd?
Not really, because the orcs are all kind of like facing the same direction, and like you're like over here, so like you'd be basically walking right into their line of sight, and then be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely not an elf or a human or anything. I'm one of you guys. Like it would be.
Oh yeah, they're just starting to head towards me. So I hide then.
Okay.
Where
you could go on the other side of this wall. This is like a 5 to 10 feet high wall of just debris and stuff, so you could just kind of like vault over it and like kind of hide with your back against it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
So yeah, you do that. Roll me still to just get over there without being noticed.
That's
Yep, you're hidden. And the Hawk's just kind of leading his dudes out. All these orcs are kind of like going this direction, not noticing you as they're like vaulting over the wall as well. So Hawk's just kind of keep leading them until they get to like the center of the battlefield, and then Hawk's just gonna be like, yo Steve, let's have them all stop and think for a bit, and I'm gonna nap for 8 hours. And Steve's like, sure, that sounds like a great plan. Hey guys, we're gonna stop here. And everyone just goes, what? Why? What are you talking about? And Commander Steve is like, no, really, this is a good idea. My friend thinks so. And then, here, I'm just gonna see if he can convince them. Yeah, he did not convince them at all. So these guys are like, what? But we're gonna go get the humans. We need to stop them with their weapon or something. And Steve's like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And he kind of turns back to Hawk like, help. And the orcs just kind of keep walking and like ignore the fact that he just had a dumb suggestion. Steve, you are the worst commander, my word. I mean, he failed to convince them for this one order. They're just ignoring that last order. Stu's just kind of still hanging out over here, T-posing, starting dominance. So the crowd is kind of like continuing on, like going after the humans. Hawk says, I need to recharge so I can overpower the humans. And Steve goes, that's a great plan. I like it.
It's a great one.
Steve just kind of agrees with anything Hawk says at this point. So the rest of the army is like continuing to walk past them at this point, and Steve's just kind of like being ignored for his last suggestion. If we charge in without our greatest weapon, we will die.
Thanks.
Hawk really is their greatest weapon, though.
Doesn't Hawk need to roll persuasion?
No. This guy is already like severely convinced. Master Steve is basically just brainwashed to accept anything that Hawk
like
says
the
at this point. He's just a random baker, and he's just like been bamboozled too much. Hawk just can say anything to him, and he'll be fine. Steve is my slave. So Steve gently yells to them all, "Hey, we should really stop so that our tiefling dude can help us win the battle." Let's see if he can do it this time. The answer is no, he cannot. Steve is not very good at convincing people of things, especially when these orcs are out for blood. So they're just kind of continuing to walk past and ignoring Steve, and also Hawk, and also Grognak, and also Gerald. So these four are just kind of like waiting and getting past, and what do you guys want to do? These orcs are just kind of like marching across the battlefield with significantly fewer numbers than there were.
I want to try something. Yeah, I wanted to like stay within sight of it.
Well,
within range.
You mean like fighting range? Shooting range. Okay,
range.
What's your range on that? The terrain here is basically just like gentle rolling hills and like a grassy field. So
honestly,
really
I
flat.
kind of was hoping that I could just walk behind them.
You can try that and roll stealth to see if they don't notice you.
Yeah, they were so determined to like go kill these things that I figured,
I mean, they are, but they're not like
really
complete morons. They don't like lose track of all their surroundings and never look behind them or anything. Hawk says, "I swear, if you assassinate Steve." Hawk says, "My word." Okay, I cast command on a random orc in the middle. A random orc. All right, let's just say that you cast command on Traitor because he's already been bamboozled once before. So you'll be slightly better at controlling him than anyone else. Okay, I want him to scream, "Death, orc scum!" and stab the closest orc. Okay, so he has to make a wisdom saving throw. Is that right, Hawk? Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous that you don't even need to make a roll for that, and he just has to roll above a 15. How many charges do you have left on that staff? And Stu, what are you doing? You want to shoot at them or just stealth along?
No, I'm just like hiding, like following.
Okay, so you're like kind of crouching below the hills as they're kind of going along. Roll me stealth. They're not going to be too aware of what's directly behind them, but they might look around. So yeah,
I got
you're hidden. So as they're all walking purposefully, suddenly this guy in the middle just kind of goes, "Death, orc scum!" and like attacks the nearest guy to him in the chest, and he like kind of falls over. Like, ow, what the heck, man? Why is happening to me right now? So yeah, a fight breaks out. These guys right here immediately start slicing at him and take him down immediately. He just gets attacked by 2 or 3 people at once and just gets killed immediately. And these guys kind of like look around nervously, like what? And they're looking back and forth, like, okay, is anyone else gonna attack? Are we good? I guess we're good. And then they just keep walking, I guess. They're just like, okay, we've seen enough. This has gone far enough. And they're just continuing to walk and like kind of pick up their pace a little bit, like they're getting ready to charge.
Okay, I'm gonna to the left of them. They're left.
So over here.
They're left. Yes. I'm going to shoot an arrow just enough so that it like makes a noise.
Makes a noise. Okay. Yeah, just roll to hit the right spot, I guess. I guess a dex roll? No, I don't know. Just roll a weapon roll for accuracy.
Okay.
23. Okay, wow. So yeah, you shoot an arrow, and how close to the orcs are you trying to hit it?
Far enough so that they don't really see where it came from, but close enough to where they hear the noise.
Okay, only these guys are going to hear the noise.
You get that?
But they do hear like
okay, that's fine.
Of the arrow like hitting the ground right beside them, and it like buries itself 3/4 of the way into the wet, or like not really wet grass, but just like the soft ground. And this guy kind of sees it and looks to the others and is like, "Whoa, hey, did you guys hear that?" And these guys kind of all turn around and are like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And they're like looking back at you now. Or like looking your direction to see where the arrow came from, and they ready their shields.
Can I try and like hide?
Stu's also wanting me, or Hawk is wanting me to do something, I think. 24. Okay, yeah, so you managed to like duck behind one of the hills, just like lying flat on your stomach to hide below this gentle hill. and they don't see you, but they're kind of like on guard, and these guys kind of like turn and are like, whoa, what's going on? And they kind of like ready their weapons and notice that these guys are turning, but they're not sure why, and it just kind of like distracts them, but it doesn't like fully stop them. They slow down, but they're not like changing generally what they're doing. These guys kind of stop. These guys kind of are still walking, but like readying their weapons and looking around. These guys don't even notice, and they just keep going. Hawk says, then I'll follow up by walking and rolling persuasion to say, "Stop, you fools! The human weapon is driving you mad! You need to listen to me!" 21 when you're ready. Okay, for persuasion? Wow. Alright. Hawk also says, "Stu, are you trying to fight my whole army alone?"
No, I'm not. That's why I'm not shooting directly at them.
That was uncharacteristic of an orc. Oh, you got lucky, Hawk. Okay. So yeah, you managed to convince the orcs to listen to you, and they kind of stop and like look down at you, and they're like, "Oh, what is it, tiefling? If you want to wipe out the humans, we must use every resource we have. Allow me to rest and recharge. We attack at dawn, okay?" And the orcs kind of go, But we need to attack now. We're being attacked right now, aren't we? You were the one that motivated us, weren't you?" Oh my gosh, your persuasion is too high. These orcs are too stupid. I'm annoyed. So yeah, the orcs just kind of go, "Ugh, why should we listen to you?" And they kind of like drop their weapons and stop moving, and they're just kind of like looking at you with arms crossed, like, "Gah, we'll listen, but I don't understand."
Okay, so I want to move within 30 feet of these guys in the back.
You want to move to within 30 feet of these guys? Or these guys?
Other guys.
These guys.
The
Okay,
guys.
so yeah,
Yes.
you can roll me stealth to be able to like, because you're like lying on your stomach to be able to be low enough to not be seen by these guys who are looking this direction.
Yeah.
So you'd have to like military crawl your way and like be really, really stealthy.
Basically.
All right. We'll see what these guys get on their perception. Not too high. That one crit failed. Alright, so yeah, you managed to sneak by it. None of these guys even noticed. This guy just trips over and like falls on his face and literally just sees dirt. So yeah, you're good. You managed to like sneak over here and you're within 30 feet of these guys.
I'm gonna use detect magic on
this dude?
that dude.
Okay. You're using a level 1 spell right now. Okay, fine. Sure. So Commander Steve has like just the faintest little glow around him, but nothing really other than that, and nobody else in the area has. So Hawk is trying to long rest here for 8 hours. He just like lies down in front of these orcs who are like kind of grumbling and not like, they're kind of convinced to do what he says, but they're really not happy with it and not sure why, and they're just kind of like all ready for war, just kind of restlessly wandering around. Like, why are we listening to this guy? I don't know why I'm listening. Why are we doing this? What are we doing? I don't know. Trying to convince themselves to not
so he's long
listen
resting.
to him. He's trying to. So far, he's spent about a minute trying to long rest, and you're like over here doing whatever you're doing. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I see that he's glowing. I know it's enchantment.
Yeah, just very faint.
So I kind of get a sense of what's going on here. And I am going to try. This is going to be so difficult. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I want to get to Edge.
You want to get to Edge? Edge the person? Like EJ?
Yes, Edge the person. No, not you, but like...
Oh yeah, Edgy Edward, sorry. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Walk by and ray of frost them all.
So I'm walking all the way over to the right side.
You're right. Okay, so this way? Where's the... Why can't I grab?
Yes.
Oh, disconnected from
server. All the way, like the farthest...
Oh, that's great.
Basically what I wanted to do was go to that far side, obscure myself as far away from them as I can, but like still being in view of them, I guess. Okay,
that would be pretty far. But, I mean, you can, like, go all the way to the mountain range on the left if you wanted to, without them noticing. Actually, roll me a stealth check, just to see if they happen to notice. Oh!
Yeah, definitely did not.
Yeah, they nat 22. So, as the orcs are kind of like bumbling around, like looking all around, like trying to figure out what the heck they're doing as they just walk around in circles, about all of them, I was gonna say about a number, but many of them see, like you just kind of like stealthily walking across the grassy flat field.
No, I'm not walking, boys.
You're just running. Oh, you're army crawl. Okay, yeah. So you're just like thinking you're all stealthy. So they just see you like kind of worming your way across the ground, being like, "Oh, I am so sneaky. They'll never find me." And they're just like, "Hey, who goes there?" And they yell at you from however far they are. Okay, so what are you gonna do? They've called out to you, and several of them are kind of like branching off from the group and kind of coming over to you.
What happened? He tried.
I get up.
Oh gosh. Okay. They start to come after you, and like first it's like 2 or 3 that start rushing after you. Then the ones who are behind kind of like are like, oh well, I guess we're going this way now, and they like kind of stick together, kind of like lemmings. They're just like following each other because they're just so lost and confused that they just kind of stick together as one giant entity. So they just all like slowly begin leading each other, and just it becomes a stampede of all the orcs like beginning to chase you down, and they're all just sprinting after you as you're trying to run away. Alright, and they just kind of leave Hawk on the ground and ignore him as he sleeps.
So am I rolling athletics to see if I outrun them?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a 17.
Okay, yeah, you do manage to outrun them, but only by a little bit. So where are you trying to go exactly? So you're running to the mountains, I guess, or like unless you want to change directions and go somewhere else. So you're trying to go like this way, just like running south, like, oh please help!
Yes,
and there's just an army of orcs after you. Okay.
Stu, you are ruining every plan.
Yeah,
I kind of realized that
Huck honestly like had a great plan, and it was like working so well. I don't know if they would have stayed there for 8 hours, but they definitely wouldn't have started charging like this if Stu hadn't done this. So
yeah, I managed to prevent them from attacking the humans, and then what did you go and...
I mean, technically you are the one that poked the beehive to begin with there, Hawk, but that's fine. This is true. I mean...
Yeah.
As they're running, I am looking for some kind of place to hide.
Okay.
How long has it been since...
Temporarily.
How long have I managed to sleep for before
I would say, like, maybe 10 minutes tops.
Oh my word, okay, I'm just gonna say I woke up.
Okay.
Pointless.
So you're running, you're maybe, like 200 feet away from them at this point. There's, like, nothing across this battlefield until you start to, like, come across the bodies of like fallen humans and orc bodies that from a recent battle that still have not been cleaned up.
Okay, I want to try and lay down and pretend that
okay.
There's a really deep hole.
That's true.
Yeah, please.
So these orcs are all chasing you, and all of them have their vision on you. However, if you do this just as you get over the crest of a small hill and just kind of like...
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
You can try it, but they know what you're wearing. They would look around when they can't find you anymore, and they would probably find you. But yeah, you can try that if you'd like.
I'm not going to hide for long.
So it's fine. Roll me sleight... No, just roll me stealth, I guess.
Oh, God.
and Hawk's just like over here... somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just follow my orcs over and figure out what's going on.
Okay, they have all sprinted like far away from you. They are like outside the humans' camp at this point. Meanwhile, the humans have heard the approaching screaming orcs, and they have kind of like begun freaking out and like building a defensive line. Oh, I don't have permission to create objects, but pretend that there are like humans preparing for battle like along here and like rushing.
How close are we?
We're getting close. Like, we're in the area where the battle was, and the battle was, like, right outside the human camp. So, like, there's maybe...
What time of day is it?
I've forgotten. I forgot what time it was when we left off.
Well, it took me 8 hours to walk to the encampment, or something like that.
Did it?
Or 6 hours, whatever it was.
You know, I've kind of lost track of something. I've lost track of several things. Okay, so maybe we're not there then.
Well, no, we could be. It would be at minimum like 6 or 7 p.m.
Sure.
because it was.
Yeah,
high
maybe
noon
you
by the
just
time I got
kept
to
running
New
for a
York.
really long time,
dude.
Stu, and you just could not find a place to hide. So you've just been running for a long time,
Mhm.
and the orcs were charging, and now the humans are like freaking out hearing that the orcs are coming, and they're just like kind of freaking out and trying to build a defensive line. Meanwhile, you're just like and you get over the crest of a hill, and you just like try to fall down and pretend like you're one of the dead bodies. Right as the orcs like get to the top of the hill, and they just kind of go, "What? Oh, okay, we found you," and then they start to try to attack you. Roll initiative.
Okay. Oh my gosh! All right, here we
How
go.
close am I?
Where did you start? Like, did you wake up and immediately start sprinting after them at full speed?
No, I'm leisurely.
You will be there in about 3 hours. The human line.
Run.
It will take a long time.
So beneath me.
I'm sorry that this has happened this way. I didn't plan for this.
Okay, Stu, I literally spent like 4 hours studying this. Okay? Like, my mission was to kill all the orcs, and look what
You can still manage it.
We've surrounded them. You see what's happening right now.
I'm
I
pretty
have-
sure
You have gotten yourself literally
within my
pinned on the
grasp.
ground. I guess we can just say that Hawk runs and it manages to stay with them-ish. The humans are very disorganized, and they're like kind of stumbling out of their tents like they weren't expecting another fight so soon, and they're like, oh boy, great, help, and they're like not prepared to fight at all, and they're like still trying to get their stuff together. Meanwhile, these orcs just like kind of crest the hill, immediately look down and see that you just kind of like face planted on the ground, and they're like, all right, short swords, and they just kind of like start swinging them at you while you're on the ground. The first one is going to try to swipe at you. Would you roll me a dex save?
die.
Just because I don't want to kill you immediately. Oh, wow, okay. So yeah, this orc tries to bring down his sword, and like slice at you while you're laying on the ground. And you manage to like realize that the jig is up, and you like kind of roll to the side, and you're like, oh, whoa boy, and you kind of like manage to avoid getting squashed. So I would say you roll to this direction, and now you're slightly out of range for these other guys that were about to slice you too. These kind of all kind of bump into each other, and this guy also tries to take a swipe at you with his sword, and he crit fails, and his sword just kind of like plunges into the ground right beside you, but he swung so hard that he manages to like catapult himself over the sword that is now stuck in the ground, and he just kind of like flips over it and lands. He kind of does that and just like lands laying down next to you like, oh hi, what's up? And now it is your turn, Stu.
All right, I want to try and get up here.
Okay. That takes half your movement speed, right?
It also means that every orc within 5 feet of him gets to
Does
attack
it?
him.
Because I'm standing up,
Yeah,
I'm not
'cause I-
moving away from where I am.
It doesn't matter. It counts as
Oh
a movement
my.
action. That's why it uses half of your movement speed.
What in the world?
Uh,
They just get to attack me for. Oh, okay, I'm trying to stand up and say, whoa, wait. And I'm trying to like.
I would use your speech action first before
Okay.
you stand.
All right.
so would you like to try to like
I mean, think
would
about
you
it.
like
Off
to
the ground.
like raise your
Yeah, just
hand
think
and
about it.
like kind of be like whoa, wait, stop as they're like trying to attack you?
Because I'm such an imposing figure.
Yes,
from the
very
ground,
imposing.
I'm gonna say.
Stu, think about it. If the first thing that you saw from an enemy soldier was them standing up, what do you think you
Okay.
would do?
All right. I say, wait.
Oh, why is that guy
Look.
dead? Okay. That was very
Oh.
very aggressive.
We can all talk about this. I'm sure that there's something of value that you would like, and I was just strolling by.
This is a very slow
Alright,
statement,
I
and they
just
already would have
didn't
tried to stab
get
you by now.
involved.
Please quick it up.
All right, and I say, look, that's not very cool. I already have my hands up, by the way. I would just like to point this out because I'm like in defensive
Didn't
mode
you
right now.
frost freeze the guy with your hand?
He did.
I say, I think we all just need to cool
Oh,
down.
no. I know.
Shoot the nearest one in
Freeze.
the face.
Oh no.
I know I shoot the nearest
Oh,
one in the
no.
face with Ray of Frost.
So you're not even trying to persuade them to stop. You're just like, oh no, I'll be fine, and then shoot them in the face from the ground.
I just had to go out with
Oh
the
my
coolest,
The
coolest line ever.
coolest line.
During all of this, I'm just gonna be pushing through the crowd, okay? That sounds pretty.
You'll find a dead Kyron over here.
So as you're pushing through the crowd, Stu just tries to like shoot this guy in the face with a ray of frost. Roll for it, Stu.
Oh god.
15. Okay, yeah. So you barely managed to like clip this orc in like the side of the face, and he like goes ah, and his face gets like frozen and frostbitten.
Should I roll the damage?
His face gets kind of like half frozen, and he's just like and he kind of like holds his face like he's got a really bad brain freeze getting over it, and he's like just kind of ow, and like tripping over his friend here, and I guess he falls over because I can't get him to stand up. Now it is these other orcs' turns. They are also just going to immediately try to stab you because of your crimes against humanity, or orc-manity. Oof. Okay. One of them is going to try to jab at you with a javelin.
Dude, just down to
I'm fine.
You might be fine if Hawk saves you, but that's your only chance. 4 damage to you from this one orc that tries to stab you with a javelin.
Wait, you didn't even ask my AC.
Okay, what's your AC? You're not 20.
16.
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
And then the other orc is going to also try to stab you.
Hog is complaining that I chose the wrong route.
I mean, laying on the ground and hoping that they don't kill you, and then immediately rejecting their mercy.
we hadn't even got to
Okay.
that part. We were still at the part where his plan was to get within 30 feet of them and poke them with magic.
Poke them? What does that mean? I just said detect magic.
Yeah, because you should really wander up to an army of orcs and go, wubba lubba doo lub, tell me your magic.
They noticed me because I was trying to make my
I really
way.
would rather have had Hawk just take all these people out and have them fight each other and have you guys like have a clear shot to go explore north and do whatever you wanted. But this works too, I guess, just having Stu immediately become a pincushion.
And now I have to, like, kill them in the middle of a war, which is so much harder.
Yeah, it's a little harder. However, you do have Disorganized working
From
on
the
backup
back, you
now.
had a clear shot of all of them.
He was trying to recharge his spell slots so he could do things, but...
Yeah, I only have 1 spell slot left, Stu. I only got a 10-minute nap because of someone. After 2 persuasion checks just to get the nap.
Just to get the nap.
I've spent this entire time trying to get a nap.
That's me, though. Literally me on the stream.
I walk up and I just javelin holes in him on the ground. Is that what I'm saying?
Yes, these 2 orcs just they tried to stab...
stabbing.
Or I think one of them
Wait.
stabbed him, 2 others like tried to stab him and missed.
Yeah, and we
Just
were
a
trying to
little
figure out the damage. Because he crit.
Oh yeah, so you either have to roll the damage die twice or just
I already doubled it.
because it's a net 20.
He rolled terribly.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Like, he literally...
Yeah,
I mean-
sorry.
Honestly, he probably should have done a little bit more damage than that if I had calculated it right, but I was just... whatever, it's not a big deal. Either you're going to die from too many people stabbing you anyway, or Hawk's going to convince them otherwise. The amount of damage is probably not going to be a factor here.
I mean, I can literally take...
Stu, what spells do you
more of
have?
those.
That's because that was a wimpy roll.
I have Detect Magic and Hunter's Mark.
You're useless. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what kind of a
I have
ranger
weapons,
are
though.
you? Who takes those spells? Okay.
Halfcaster. Damn it.
Also, as you guys are...
I don't know why I had the Detect Magic, but...
Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm a damage ranger who took detect magic.
While you guys are doing this,
I
these
should switch
humans
that up
are
next
like
time I do
getting
this.
themselves more organized and like kind of tiredly getting like their bows ready and beginning to aim
I
at
didn't
all of
get
you.
to take my turn yet. Don't have the humans kill me yet. So, actually, they would know.
Yeah,
who
they
I
would
am,
know who
so
you
I'm
are. They
fine.
just might not see you.
Excellent. I'm going to. Which one stabbed him? Which one of my bubblegum squad? The bubblegum squad all work for me anyway, so actually they should just listen to me.
I forgot the bubblegum squad. I mean, just because you succeed
Yeah.
one persuasion throw doesn't mean they work for you forever.
Excuse you, they did a purge for me. They are in my wing, totally dedicated.
I mean,
They went and killed their brothers
you're
for
not
me.
wrong.
Like,
You're not. You commanded them
Okay.
to.
so I'm going to go to my
Okay.
bubblegum squad. I'm going to say, stop. We need him alive because we're going to use him to infiltrate the humans.
Oh my god.
Roll persuasion. It doesn't matter what you rolled. You've probably got it.
That is
Yep, you got it.
19.
So the bubblegum squad kind of like look to you sadly, and they're like, "Aw, but we chased him all this way. He made me tired."
It's a perfect reason to have a nap.
I just kind of poke up and I'm like, I'm kind of feeling that too.
These guys who are also on the ground are like, that would be great.
So, I'm going to have my orcs take a nap. I'm going to be like, all right, sit down, set up defensive positions, and just rest for a moment. Take shifts, and then I'm going to take Stu by the arm and lead him a little ways away.
Okay, so you take Stu over like this way or something?
I don't know, about 150 feet.
You cannot do that. You can only move a maximum of 30 feet because the humans have not had their turn yet, and they are raising their bows.
Okay, fine. The humans can have their turn.
The humans are now going to attempt to like rain a volley of arrows into these orcs.
How far away are we?
It doesn't matter. The logic of this game at this point has gone beyond me, and I don't know the ranges of the bows.
So, if they're raining a volley of arrows, we're 150 feet.
Sure. The volley of arrows, like, kind of plows into this group of orcs. Several arrows hit. Actually, more than several. Oh, yep. Okay, that one does a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Okay, so these humans are like getting themselves organized, and they're like kind of forming a shield wall. Half the humans seem like they're
in a period of 6 seconds. You got yourself stabbed, I rescued you, and then the humans organized an entire defensive line and shot the orcs.
I mean, they were getting themselves organized before. They just like weren't quite ready, and then now they're shooting. So yeah, a bunch of these orcs just like get hit. How much damage does a longbow do exactly? These orcs aren't gonna die from 1d8. Especially when it rolls a 1. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay, yeah. Oh. So these orcs, like, at least... Steve is still in the back, just like, oh, what's going on, guys? So this orc gets hit, that orc gets hit, this orc gets hit. I can't knock him over. Basically, just whoever happens to fall over is the one who gets hit. And this guy dies immediately. He's, like, hit in the head, his skull splits open, and he dies. The rest of them kind of get injured and like kind of fall, but they don't die. They're just like in pain, kind of falling, and these orcs begin to like bring up their shields and like kind of begin barking orders to each other and getting disorganized because they don't actually have anyone who's like really in charge except Steve, who's in the back, and he's a baker.
Hey, I told them to get defensive positions, so...
Okay, well they already had their turn, so they can't do that anyway. So now you guys can continue moving if you'd like. Just like running away from the battle as these arrows begin.
No, we're not running away. This is my army.
Okay.
Yeah, you just pulled me aside.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it's your turn again.
So
what did you like to do?
We're gonna go 30 more feet. I'd like to have a chat with my elf friend here.
The orcs continue to rush forward blindly, doing their best.
I thought they were taking their shields out.
They're running with their shields.
Or aggressive.
I mean, what else are they supposed to do? They don't have their ranged weapons with them.
You were doing
What'd you say?
Elf ears. I'm talking to my elf friend. What the flibby flabby did you think you were doing?
Those are some strong words there.
You're one to talk.
Oh my word.
There's supposed to be progress here.
That is progress, alright?
Does not look like progress.
This is progress, okay? So, look, now you've started a war, and now we need to finish it, okay? So, I'm gonna go over here and take a nap, and you just run over to the human lines and hide. Go. Okay, actually, wait. You go to the humans and convince them to stop shooting, and I'll stop the orcs.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds better.
These humans are on point today with their arrows.
If you're rolling perception to see if they hear them, I will specify that I'm
No, I'm rolling to see what the humans are doing with their next volley of arrows, and they are on point today, apparently.
Okay, well, my turn isn't over yet, so I'm going to turn and cast Command on the furthest orc I can reach in the front of the line. You want to roll the wisdom to see if I succeed?
There's no way you're going to fail, but yeah, sure. Yep, he did not succeed.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, yeah.
If he nat 20s, I'm going to command him to run out in front of the other orcs, turn to face them, and just kind of like stick his arms up.
So, block.
The word is block. The action I'm doing is block, is what it's called. So I want him to block them. All of them.
So you're just shouting to them while we're having this conversation?
No, it's a mental communication that makes it feel like it's its own plot.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that all you're gonna do is command these little toys of yours to just run themselves into a wall. Is that it?
No. They're going to stop and you're gonna stop the humans, and we're gonna have a nice chat.
How exactly do you plan on stopping them?
Meanwhile, this orc is kind of rushing out and just kind of like gets in front of these guys and goes, "Stop!" And like kind of holds out his arms. This guy just like straight up runs into him and like they kind of bump into each other and just fall over. But these other guys are kind of like, "Wait, what?" And they're like still kind of charging with their shields, but they kind of stop and hesitate.
Now get over. Yeah, I'm just gonna point at stupid Stu in the face. Now get to the human line, and then I'm gonna, on my next turn, after the human's turn, I guess, walk over to my orc.
Look at him, he's just like, "Oh, how did I fail this badly?" Rocking back and forth. Some of these guys are still injured back here. I didn't keep track of which ones, so just say some of these guys are injured. So the orcs are kind of like bumping into each other and like kind of being slowed down by this, and kind of the line has kind of come to at least a slow, not necessarily a full stop, but they're just kind of like slowed down and still kind of approaching with their shields, but they're trying to defend against the humans. Meanwhile, the humans let loose another volley of arrows, and it does some severe damage to some of these guys in the back that aren't as careful with their shields, I guess. One of these guys who was already down gets hit, and he dies as well. Not that one. This guy. Goodbye.
Oh, this whole time, by the way, I've been using my bonus action to cast Full Slave.
Okay, sure.
For the record.
I forgot you had that. That's so... oh my gosh, I hate your characters.
Stu, just to keep you up to date, I can use Full Slave an unlimited amount of times as a bonus action. It resets itself every time I use it, meaning that I can only have up to 8 temp HP. But it is nice because it means I can guarantee myself 8 extra health. I'm 18 years old and I've killed 7,000 men.
Oh, good God. and then as soon as I say that, I like dash towards the humans.
What did you say? I was kind of dead.
So Stu's using his action.
I just kind of said, be careful with all this stuff you're getting into, and then dash.
So you're just charging towards the humans?
The humans. Yeah.
Okay. What are you wearing as your armor? Like, do you look like an orc, or do you look like clearly not like one, or?
Clearly not. I'm in full leather.
Kind of, okay, you're walking into the line where the arrows are being shot. Sorry, I had to squish a bug. What'd you say?
Because I walked, I still get an action. And I'm just going to command another random orc to run out in front and do the block action again.
Okay, we'll just say that you command one of your other...
No, not a bubblegum squad. I particularly want non-bubblegum squad member.
So I'll just say this guy kind of charges ahead and like holds his arms out at these guys who were already slowed by the previous attempt at this. So he just kind of holds out his arms at them again, and they kind of like...
So you blocking it?
Yeah, and so they kind of stop and they're like, "What are you doing, Bob?" And they come to a stop, and like these guys are kind of slowed down by all the bodies of their fallen brethren as they're getting like knocked down and like injured or killed. This guy's still like questioning his life choices apparently.
And I would still be outside of the main group of orcs then, which would mean, because I've only walked 30 feet back, so I'd still be on like the outskirts. Right?
Yeah, the humans are gonna just continue.
Just want to make sure.
The humans are just gonna continue shooting arrows just at anyone they can reach, which is basically just in general the whole group here.
The clump.
So I guess I'll just roll some more impacts, and the orcs don't really have that many ranged weapons right now. These orcs are having some... Oh my gosh, that's 4 nat 20s from the humans. Well, not in a row, but like in general, like with this volleys of arrows, they've gotten 4 nat 20s. So finally they got a crit fail, so that's good. Okay, so yeah, a bunch more orcs just like collapse. Some of the ones that were already down get killed. Like just say that's dead, that's dead, that one's dead. This one's down. Let's just say like about 6 more go down of this group. How about this one wasn't as good with his shield. So anyone who's down is injured. Anyone who's not there anymore is dead. And that's basically the situation.
I'd say my plan of wiping the orcs out
I
is
mean,
still going.
it is
working.
They have been stopped, and they are just taking many arrows to the face.
You're just confusing the heck out of them, and they just don't know what to do, so they're just getting hit with arrows.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what Hawk planned on. Alright, so it's your turn, Stu. Would you like to keep walking?
Wait, so you told me to get them to stop shooting? Why? I thought your plan was to kill them.
It is. But if you just let them keep shooting, then they're gonna run at the humans, and humans are gonna die.
Oh, true.
We're
Okay,
minimizing human casualties.
I just dashed again.
Okay, so you make it to the line of humans here.
Are they? What is that? Are they just on the ground?
Yeah, they're just kind of on the ground, kind of behind some like rocks and cover and stuff, but not like.
Yeah. Okay, so I get 10 feet from the dude there, and I know him, right?
Yeah, and me and Stu exchanged backstory, so he should know who I am.
Okay.
Because we talked.
Yeah. So I tell him, you guys need to stop. There's something big about to happen, and just stop shooting. Trust me.
Why do I always pick the messengers?
Roll persuasion. Are you saying this only to the nearest guy, or to the just in general at the whole group?
Yeah, to as many people as will hear me.
Okay. Yeah.
What'd you say? Persuasion?
First I pick Steve, then I pick this idiot.
Okay. These guys are both like, oh, what? Why? What's going on? Well, what big thing are you talking about? These guys kind of hear, but aren't really convinced yet. And nobody else hears yet.
Okay. Our, shall we say, secret weapon is at work.
Our what?
There. Our secret weapon.
Oh my gosh, that guy. Wannabe edgelord.
Yes.
What's he doing?
How do you know my name is Edgy Edward the Fourth, the Edgelord of Edgetopia?
So if you all stop firing, he can do his work. And those won't be a problem anymore.
I don't understand why he has to do it his way instead of our way. I mean, we're taking them out. Look at them. This guy kind of gestures at them who are like...
Yes, but eventually they'll reach here. There's too many of them.
They've stopped moving right now.
That's because he's trying to hold them off for as long as he can, but we need you guys to stop firing so he can do what he needs to do.
Very well, and he kind of yells to these guys, hey, stop firing, hold your fire! And these guys kind of hear, and they're like, okay, and they stop, and word kind of, like, reaches down the line.
Okay.
And they kind of, like, are like, what? Why are we stopping? What's going on? And they stop firing for now. Meanwhile, the orcs are just, like, in disarray, like, half of them are injured and on the ground, wailing and, like, not able to balance, apparently.
Can I call Steve up to the front, please?
Yes, you may call Steve.
Steve, to aisle 1. We need to clean up. Okay. So,
right. Commander Steve comes up.
I'm gonna have Steve come up.
Clean up on aisle Steve.
Yeah. I'm gonna have him stand next to me. That'd be great. And we're gonna talk to the...
Alright, Gerald and Grognak. Gerald and Grognak kind of come up with him because they're his assigned bodyguards by you. Yep.
Official bodyguards. Yep.
Oh my god.
Great. So I'm going to just speak for Steve here because unfortunately he took an error in the map. I'm kidding. So that's not what I say. So I'm going to speak up and I'm going to say, alright, so as I told a few of you before, we are going to use the elf to infiltrate the humans. As you see, it's already going according to plan. They've stopped shooting for the moment. We need to regroup and just back up a bit and listen to my initial plan. Do you see what happens when you charge headfirst and don't listen to me? Steve listens to me and he is fine. The rest of you have arrows in you.
Okay, you don't even need to convince the orcs. They're like completely on board with the whole "oh yeah, we're in a bad spot, we need to back up" kind of mindset. So they all they're like, okay, yeah, let's get out of here, and they like kind of begin backing up.
Also,
yeah, that's what I figured. They're not going to help each other. So they begin to like. I can't even find the ones that are okay. The ones that are still standing, just kind of yeet them over there. The ones that are wounded just kind of leave on the ground. Are you gonna go with them and just kind of like lead them this way? And the ones on the ground are like, "Wait, don't leave us! What are you doing?" How are you guys gonna respond to that?
Yeah, we're gonna leave.
This guy's gonna be like trying to help this guy along because he really had a close bond with Bobby, like trying to drag Bobby.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's trying to bring Bobby. I can't move him whilst also.
He had a close bond with Bobby. Back when he was a child, and we just like.
Meanwhile, these guys are just like, "Hey, why are we?" Oh, this guy actually just kind of fell over because he was an idiot, but he's not actually injured, so he kind of comes with.
He has a fully developed backstory about how he was bullied as a kid.
All right,
like, Bobby.
So, now what? I guess Stu's with these guys, and they're not sure why they stopped shooting.
Yeah, I have a minute.
These guys are just like. Well, let's just finish this part, or whatever is happening. These guys are just injured and on the ground, unable to really, like, get too far away, but they're, like, kind of weakly crawling, like, hey, don't forget us, why are you leaving us? And, Hawk, what are you doing with these bros?
You gotta find the most powerful... Oh, did you just donate? Oh my gosh.
Did he donate to make sure that things go according to his plan?
Yes, he donated to extend his
Sure, I'll allow it.
time.
Tell Steve to get the orcs recuperating, have them sit down and chill, and I'll be back in 10 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm going to leave and go to the human line.
Okay, so, just in the middle of the battlefield, just like... No, these guys, you want them to just sit in the middle of the battlefield and recuperate?
No, I've sent them to start walking to, so they're behind a hill or something. The closest.
Okay, so they just kind of sit behind, like, a shallow hill, and they're like, this is our plan. It's a great plan. Why are we doing this? I don't know, but this is our plan. And, yeah, and you just kind of walk past these injured orcs, and they're like, why are you leaving us here? You mean... And you kind of, like, waltz back alone, and all the humans are like, what did you do this time, as you get back to the line?
Like, look, y'all just need to chill. I'm gonna go take a nap.
then you just collapse in front of them?
And I'm walking, I'm gonna walk past the lion and just go take a nap on some bed of grass somewhere in the...
Okay, Stu, what are you gonna do?
I just, shrug and follow after.
Okay, and all these guys kind of,
you can
stay here, and they're like, should we keep watch? Are they dead? What do you...
you can keep watch if you want, alright? Just don't move.
They're just kind of annoyed. The general kind of comes up to you while they're continuing to watch.
Hours. You told them not to move for 8 hours.
I didn't say how long.
So this is going to represent the general for now.
You said, I'm going to go take a nap for 8 hours.
Great, what does the general want? Is this the general I
yes,
know?
This is the same general. So the general kind of comes up to you, and he's like, what is going on here? Did you actually...
You told me to kill all the orcs.
I hate you.
No, it's okay, because there's still some left, but I need to just take a quick nap before I can go back, okay?
Yeah,
you need to take a quick nap.
Chill.
I'm not sure I understand. Why did you stop us from shooting them? We had them in our grasp.
We are...
Look,
we are minimizing casualties, okay?
I really struggle hard with these cold puns, alright? And you're just skipping over...
So the general's just kind of like... Yeah, I just don't understand. You're letting them recuperate for a full night?
I have killed 80% of them, okay?
80% of them?
I will finish off the last 20% after a quick nap, okay?
We're playing the long game.
He just kind of puts his head in his hand and he's just like...
Lose more humans.
I don't understand. And he just kind of shakes his head and turns around and he's like, alright. What?
Okay, I'm going to put my orb under my head and take a nap.
The general just kind of walks back to the humans. Roll me persuasion.
24.
Yeah, the humans decide to do what you said, and they just kind of keep they keep about a quarter of their men posted to like kind of keep watch and make sure things are underway. The rest of them kind of disband for a bit.
I have a +7 every charisma skill.
That's ridiculous.
Hawk's characters are always ridiculous.
Completely legitimate.
Oh my gosh, but the way they're constructed is always just stupid.
Can we time jump my 8-hour
If
nap?
everyone's cool with it, then yeah, sure. Stu, are you just like not gonna do anything else?
Yeah, I take out a black skeletal skull and put it under my head as a pillow.
Alright,
Well,
it is
like,
nighttime now,
either
so
take a
like
nap.
just for all night, you guys just do your thing. This is a long rest.
Shorter long rest.
So during the night, these guys, like a couple of them managed to like crawl their way like back to safety, like begging for their lives. Bobby also managed to crawl back to safety. The rest of these guys just kind of like huddle together and bleed out and don't make it. So let's just toss them over there so I don't have to deal with them.
Awesome.
Yep. As the dawn breaks on a new day,
Wait, so dawn passed?
there's a medium to light fog covering the dew of the battlefield.
So did dawn pass?
Dawn is here now.
Amazing. I get to roll 1d8 plus 2 more charges on my staff.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got my Ray of Frost cantrips back.
Wait, you get to roll
I got all
1d8
my
plus
charges
what?
back.
1d8 plus 2 to recharge your staff, which has a maximum of 10.
Yeah.
How did you get? Why do these
Every
items
dawn.
exist, and how do you? Oh my gosh, Hawk, you're just the worst.
Because I spent all of my starting gold on it. Okay.
Oh my god.
How much gold does a regular character start with?
It's classic.
Okay, whatever. So do what you guys are gonna
No,
do
it's
before
not.
Stu's
It's
stream ends. Are you just gonna straight up walk in there and just kill the rest of them?
So I'm gonna walk back over to my huddle of orcs.
You're just gonna. Okay, so you just walk all the way back over.
Okay, I'd like to stand
Are you
on
gonna
top
come,
of the
Stu,
hill
or
to
are you just
behind.
gonna still sleep, or?
Stu, come with me. I want to
Stu comes with.
Okay, we're gonna stand on top of the hill they're behind.
Oh, so that you're
Great.
trying to stealth so they don't see you?
No.
Okay.
I want to
No.
stand on top of it.
It's like a podium.
Okay,
Yeah.
You guys-
so Commander Steve kind of sees you and he goes, "Ah, your name." Did you ever tell him your name? So he just goes, "Ah, you. I've been wondering when you would come back. I don't know how to
Love of my
lead these
life."
people that well. They're not listening to
Yeah.
me anymore."
The only person I ever. The
only
only two
person
people
I
I
ever
ever
loved.
told my name are both dead. Because it was the
Oh.
captain and the one super general guy. Both of whom I am
Yay. Okay, so yeah, do what you're gonna do.
Alright.
So Commander Steve kind of comes up to you and he's like, "Yo, how's it going, friend?"
Alright. Look, Steve, I have to tell you some bad news.
What's that?
Actually, you know what, Steve? I really like you.
Oh, thanks. I
Alright.
like you too.
So, what you're gonna do for me is you're gonna take you and your 2 bodyguards, okay? And I've guaranteed asylum for you with the humans, alright? So you're gonna walk over to the human line, okay? And I'm gonna send my friend here, you know, the one that's in infiltrating the humans. He's gonna walk you in, okay?
Okay, dude. Will they not shoot us?
They won't shoot you, okay? It's gonna be fine.
Oh, okay. What about my men?
It's okay, Steve.
I just kind of wave my hand around.
I'm gonna
just
walk
like,
them in after you, but we need to get you there first, okay?
Okay.
just like, don't worry, it'll all be cool.
Oh my gosh.
Just yeah.
Okay,
gonna send
so
them
they
with,
just start walking off
I just walk
with
back.
you and just heading back this way. All right.
Alright. And then once they're a safe distance away, I'm going to kind of motion all the orcs together underneath me under the hill, gather them as closely together as possible.
Oh,
Many of them are like injured and like kind of distrusting and grumbling, but they kind of do what you're wanting because
what?
like they're just
gonna
so
walk down the
bewildered and
hill.
like manipulated and abused at this point.
It's like, get together, guys. I want to take a group picture.
Let's just
Everybody
say
just
that
walk down the hill
they're
and just
in the position you want them as close as possible. But there are a bunch of them, so maybe like maybe this back row won't really get hit if you use your fire burning hands or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's because I'm on top of the hill, but I'm gonna walk down the hill directly face to face with the first guy.
So you're gonna be like hugging this guy basically?
I'm going to, yes. Yeah, and I want it to be someone that has been rude. Can I call someone rude forward?
I mean, Bobby's a nice guy.
The purple guy.
This guy?
Like in the
Which
back.
guy? Bob? That's the rude one?
There you go. He's gonna represent all the orcs who didn't trust me. Alright. And I'm just going to open my hands in a welcoming manner.
You mean like
Cast burning hands on
hugging
them
or
all.
something?
Oh my god.
So how are you? So you're gonna cast burning hands this way at this guy, and it's gonna hit these.
No. Like pretend I just couldn't. I just didn't move the miniatures, but pretend he's in front of me.
So like this or something.
Yeah, he was at the front
Like,
of the.
I was identifying him as the one that I wanted to.
So
Yeah.
that the range of that is like 15 feet. So
It's a 15-foot long, 15-foot wide.
yeah. If I'm generous, maybe it gets these
So it would be at
guys.
the 4 of them. Yeah, it'd be the first 4 lines in theory, because I'm face to face with the first line.
Okay, so these guys don't get hit. Like these 7,
Yes.
8
Yeah.
people.
Those back
Okay.
like 7.
So
This is just a firing
all
squad.
right.
We have
well,
20
yeah, we can
seconds.
keep going. This is about to wrap up. So, Huck, do your thing. Oh, do they have to make a dex save? Oh, okay.
Dex save.
I'm just gonna do one for them all. What do they have to do?
It's a dex
Okay,
save
yeah, they did not make it.
for half.
They did not make it.
damage. Okay, that is 16 damage. Awesome. Which also recharges the spell slot, because at least one of
Yeah,
them
so
died.
just like immediately you engulf the battlefield in flames. These guys like get blasted backward by a brilliant light that engulfs their friends in flames and soot, and they just like turn into
Wait, I'm
dust.
sorry.
And they're like, "Whoa, what the? Oh my goodness!" Ah! And they like begin to charge at you.
Yes, Stu.
You recharge a spell slot whenever you hit someone with it?
No, if I reduce someone to 0 HP, and I can do that 4 times per long rest.
When you kill someone, oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Luckily, I'm
So
pretty good at that.
these guys all begin charging at you.
But Stu, this character has a -4 or 5 in every stat, pretty much, except for charisma.
God.
So, and he's okay in wisdom. I think he has a +1 in
So
wisdom.
you just like.
So they're all
persuade
charging
them
at
to
you.
do everything.
I'm not even gonna make you roll initiative because I figure you'll just do the same thing again and blast them all again.
Excuse you, my initiative is a solid 4.
You mean 4 total?
I might be able to.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
they do get to go. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's you beat one of them though, so that's good. That one crit failed. Okay, so most of them go forward or before you. So this guy's gonna try to throw his hand axe at you. Actually, no. This guy's gonna try to throw the hand axe. This guy's gonna try to slice at you with a great axe. Your armor class is terrible, isn't it?
My armor class is 6.
Okay,
Thank
so
you
yeah,
very much.
I assume you casted the spell that you always cast. Yeah, okay. So this guy attempts to slice at you. He does manage to hit your magical barrier with the great axe. A great axe is a D12 or is that a D9? Or D whatever.
12.
Whatever. Oh wow, that's a 12. So yeah, this orc like slices at you with the great axe. It like gets slowed down and stopped by your
cut me?
magical
Oh,
barrier,
rude.
but then it does hit you afterward, and then oh boy.
Reaction.
Okay, so this guy immediately, like as soon as he hits you, like you see a slight bit of smug triumph in his eyes, and then he immediately bursts into flames as well, and you hear a shriek.
You don't know how much damage he took. He only took 14 damage. He might have survived.
He was one of the ones that was injured earlier, I'm pretty sure. So he's dead. He's just incinerated, gone, kaput. Actually, no, he would have healed up from the long rest, but I don't care. Let's just finish this for Stu. He's gone.
Can I intimidation check to stop everyone else from attacking me?
Sure, why not? Let's see how it goes. They got a 4. Oh boy.
I got a
Okay,
20.
yeah, okay. Do what
So-
you're gonna do. Roast the rest of them.
Right.
They kind of
going
like
to
go, oh
say,
my.
Look, guys, you are obviously the toughest of your breed. I'm gonna slowly take some steps
They
towards
kind
them.
of like back up
respect you,
and like are
and I will
on guard.
lead
And they're like, oh no 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 no. They're
No,
kind of like
it's okay. I will lead you to
they're
glorious
intentionally
victory.
spreading out so you can't do the fire thing that you did earlier.
Okay. I'm going to cast command on the guy in the very
Gosh,
back.
Okay. Is he in range for that? What's the range on that? 30 feet? Okay, yeah,
60
sure.
feet.
Are you kidding, dude?
Alright, and I'm just going to...
That's a crit fail!
I just didn't
Oh my
fit.
gosh.
Oh,
I was
can
gonna say
do
that,
two
sure.
actions? That sounds awesome. He's going to cleave the two people in front of him down
Both
the
of
back.
them? Okay, he can only make one attack roll at a time.
Okay, fine. He'll attack the first one, and then drop his great axe while it's in the guy, and tackle the other.
Sure,
How's
he
that?
did not manage to hit the first one though. So he like attempts to swipe at this guy and like
Okay.
he goes, whoa, what the heck, man? What are you doing? Ah! And like gets out of the way just in time. Next round he'll attack that guy.
And then tackled the other one into the group.
Okay,
that
well
the
next round he'll do that when it's his
four
turn again.
clump together. Oh, and
Okay.
bonus action.
False life again. So these guys are gonna attempt to like run at you and try to swipe at you from the side.
You enjoying this too?
I'm so confused as to how you can be this
'Cause-
OP.
I'm level 2. That's
It's terrible. Okay, so both of them try to attack you with one with a great axe and one with a just a regular axe. One of them misses you, even though you have the worst armor class I've ever seen, and one of them does hit you. I really don't need to be nice to you because like you already have too many advantages. So I'll just have the one with the great axe hit you. He did 12 damage again, so that's another 9 damage hits your shield, and then like just kind of barely breaks through and nicks you. Yep.
3 hits me. Alright,
Again,
well,
how many
action.
times can you do that? Oh my
As long
gosh.
as I have spell slots. And since I killed the
Okay,
other guy, I still
how much
have
does it
spell
do? This guy like bursts into flames and isn't quite in pain.
slots. Okay,
Yes.
so he's alive.
I don't understand why you haven't used Burning Hands again, but alright. This guy is going to attempt to attack this guy because he's angry that he just almost got attacked. He also does not manage to break the armor class at this guy, so he also misses. Like he tries to swipe at this guy with his axe, and they just kind of lock axes and are like glare each other down. Then it becomes this guy's turn, and he is not able to use his turn to attack this guy like he intended, so he's just kind of stuck there, locked axes with this guy, and he's going to attempt to attack or like push past. Oh wow, okay. So he does manage to push past this guy after all, and just kind of like push him to the side as he attempts to like tackle this guy without his weapon. He just basically drops the axe in the contest they were having and instead just like tackles this guy, which knocks these guys to the ground unexpectedly, like kind of in front of you ish. Yes.
Is it my turn? Just real quickly, try and get an angle where this guy next to me on my left gets hit as well. I'm going to Burning Hands. Since those two guys are prone, they automatically fail.
Okay. So you're trying to
what
move
would
right
be the
here?
rest of them?
Probably a little too far to get these guys.
If you want to give him an opportunity.
Yeah,
attack before
he's
I-
going to get an opportunity attack because of that, but I figure that you would just tank it. So he attacks you again with his great axe and does only 2 damage to your shield. Like he tries to attack and it just like bounces off your shield, and he's like, "What?" And then you Burning Hands him in the face along with all these 4 guys, and they just like get blasted with Burning Hands once more.
Do I hit any of the guys?
No, they're too far
the guys
away.
in the back.
Actually, you know, okay, fine. He'll be closer. He'll be right here, and then these 5 guys.
15.
Failed their deck save. 3. 15 damage, he said. We didn't need these guys anyway.
Just patiently watching Hawk just beat
Yeah,
up
Hawk's
a bunch
just
of
too OP. Okay.
Okay. I don't have that many more spell slots left. So, because I only have 2, it's just because I keep getting to reset them, but I run out of resets eventually, which is why
just yeet a couple
He doesn't have that
fireballs.
spell.
I don't have
Alright, so these
fireballs.
2 guys are the only one left.
That's-
They're like
that's okay.
extremely just like terrified that there's like a bunch of charred skeletons of their minions. Like there was a group of like maybe 20 or however many of them there were. Now there's just 2 of them. They just kind of look at each other and they're like, "No, I ain't dealing with this," and they both just like start running for the hills. Yeah, they just
Oh, the
start running away.
beautiful. Can I Eldritch Blast
What's the
them in
range on
back?
that? 60 feet? Okay, yeah, sure, go
120
for it.
feet.
Oh my god.
Okay. Hey man, it's a good spell.
15.
That's
Oh
22.
my gosh, what do they need to roll for that, or is there anything? Did they just get hit by it?
No,
Alright.
just an attack roll.
Go for it. Is it hitting both of them?
It depends on close
They
they
are
It's a 5
very
range.
close to each other. They just kind of like started heading towards each
Okay,
other.
then
So if
yeah,
you
we
waited
have
at the right time, then yeah, like if you hit them when they weren't, because they were like over here.
It is
Alright,
entirely
let's
up
just
to
say
the
it hits
region.
both of them to speed this up so Stu can leave.
8
8 damage. Okay, that's enough to kill one of them. So this guy just gets like yeeted by this like immense force in the back. It just breaks his spine and he just like collapses immediately. The other guy gets blasted and just like kind of sails over a hill and you don't see him anymore. What would you like to do, Hawk?
I think I'm good. I'm just going to start walking back, and you can let Stu play out the end
Alright.
of his scenario, and then we can probably.
Okay, cool. So, Stu, as you guys approach the line of humans, the humans kind of go, What are you doing with these orcs?" And the orcs kind of like awkwardly stand there, like, "Hi, I thought you said they weren't gonna hurt us." Steve says to you about that.
Look, Steve is.
Yes, Commander Steve to you.
Okay.
I think.
Well, we'll talk about that later. You guys just need to chill out.
Oh no.
Okay, I've got this under control. All right.
These guys are still like,
So
we still want to know what's going on. Do we need to kill these guys?
I gotta talk to them first. All right, they gotta get acclimated. Okay. Look, you boys have put up quite a fight out here. All right. You've been trying your best. You know, I understand. It's a tough world. Orc eat orc world out here. Well, I don't really know if that's the dealio.
What are you talking
I don't really know
about?
your culture. I'm just saying. I
just
think,
want to
honestly,
bake bread. He was a baker before he got drafted into all this chaos.
Oh, you just want to leave? Is that what you're
just kill them before I get there? Okay.
Well, I mean,
I thought you.
if you're out, then you're
What?
out. And I Ray of Frost him in the face.
Okay. Poor Steve. He's been through a lot the past 24 hours.
Yeah, in 24 hours.
Oh,
8.
so he just kind of like goes, "Whoa," and like
14.
dodges out of the way. Steve's like, "You said you'd be nice," and Gerald and Grognak try to attack you.
I actually really hope Stu. Perfect fairy tale ending.
So Grognak and Gerald both try to attack you, and these humans immediately just
Initiative?
like shoot arrows at them. And I don't want to bother with initiative. It's too much effort. So just arrows plow into both of them, and the bodyguards just collapse. And Steve kind of goes, "Oh, Grognak, Gerald." It just kind of looks like he's gonna cry or something.
I pull out a dagger and hold it up to his throat.
Hold it up to his throat. So you
And-
like kind of approach him and like just hold it up to him.
Oh yeah, no, I'm ready to say it.
He kind of tries to push you away. Roll me strength.
Intimidation? Or like,
Strength contest, I guess.
16.
Okay, he tries to push you away, but you're just like persistent, and like he's just like, "Oh, okay."
This is how you act cool.
That was terrible.
That was really terrible.
It's
I know.
40 a.m. boys.
You should have been like, "I have no soul. I'm cold as ice," and then stab him in turn.
I'm cold as ice, dude. I was gonna fit
ice
that in,
baby.
but I was trying to like. Okay, it's fine.
Alright, anyway,
Okay.
he stabs him in the throat.
Yeah.
Roll for attack.
12.
Just because you already had your knife against his throat, I'll say sure, that's good enough, even though it wasn't. So yeah, you stab Commander Steve in the throat, and he begins to bleed a lot. Actually, forget the damage. Let's just say he dies. Speed this up. Poor Commander Steve has been injured, and he kind of like
Well,
looks at
it's
you
dead
with
anyway.
pleading and like surprised and mournful look in his eyes, and he's just like, I only wanted to make bread, and then he dies at your feet horribly, and like blood splattering all over your shoes. Meanwhile, these humans are just like, what just happened?
And I'd like to walk up to the lion finally and be like, clap, clap, job done. We can end the stream.
No. I reach out for a high five and actually accidentally Ray of Frost.
You accidentally Ray of Frost.
You really don't want to do that.
Please get in a fight. Just.
I got one.
Yes, yeah, I was gonna say that. He like he tried to like high five, but as your hand's like going behind your head to prepare for the wind up, you just like accidentally freeze the back of your head.
Brain freeze.
Roll for damage on yourself.
Oh my, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so like you just feel like the back of your head just like freeze over, and you're just like ah. Feels like someone just like pelted you in the back with like a snowman-sized snowball.
I have 18.
Awesome. So this is possible. I'm gonna burning hands him.
Oh my! I just think we should end this.
I mean, we could.
You can decide whether this is canon or not in a moment.
I mean, I don't.
But
hopefully, you don't do enough damage to kill him. Anyway.
I mean, I basically Ray of Frosted myself. So
he's trying to warm you up because you got cold.
Oh my god.
Okay, we're gonna just end Stu stream there, but for the record, I did 17 damage.
Oh my.
What was your HP? Okay, wow. So yeah, you just like get severely injured and just like kind of fly backward, and you're like and you're like kind of like frosting yourself to try to cool yourself down, and you're like, oh my gosh, what the?
All right.
And then Hawk's just like, that's for ruining my plans. Well, that's where we're gonna end it. Yeah. Thanks for fun.
Thanks for supporting me, guys.
What a mess.
You're welcome.
There are so many dead orcs over here. Hawk, you need to not create characters that are this broken. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.